Hello, good morning. Welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. It's dark, 5:40, 5:09 a.m. Central Daylight Time. It's really 4:39 a.m. if it was regular time, but anyway, that's why it's so dark. Anyway, don't get me started on daylight savings time. We have today from 1934, not this bottle, but 1934 Royal Canadian. From 1975, James Foxe. Now, there are some photos on the internet about James Foxe. If you try to look up Royal Canadian, do like a image search, you know what's going to come up. It's going to bring up Crown Royal, because you know that those search engines use like I'll say a mechanical, you know what I'm saying, a computerized algorithm thing. So it's going to correct you in its computer mind, which can't think. And it's going to think you're looking up Crown Royal. And you could just keep trying to eliminate that, but it's going to keep looking up Crown Royal, you know. So this is the bottle design. I forgot to make my tags. I knew I was forgetting something, but that's all right. James Foxe introduced. Now, Royal Canadian was introduced by, I don't know what company. I know it wasn't Sazerac. I don't think it was, in 1934. Because Sazerac mostly just went around buying up brands from other people. 1934, did find that trademark, first use in commerce, 1934. Not famous, not prominent, not well known, not popular, not expensive at all, but not bad. My daughter tried it and she said, ugh. And then later in the review, when we did do a review, that's when I had the glass 375 milliliter bottle, she admitted, she said, well, it's not bad. She said, I'm not used to this kind of whiskey, and it doesn't have a lot of flavor to me. So she's used to straight bourbons, expensive straight bourbons that people she knows buy. So, but then she drinks Jameson Irish whiskey, and that's about as mild, or if you want to say bland, as it gets. But she wasn't a fan of it. Now, I'm not really a fan of this either. It is kind of bland, Royal Canadian. Mainly, you just get some distilled grain and wood. Just tastes like regular wood, like toothpick wood. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to compete with. All right, imported, of course, it's going to say that. No age statement on either. It's got the Canadian maple leaf typical insignia, and it says Canadian, like repeatedly they say Canadian. Royal Canadian on the bottleneck. Royal Canadian, blended Canadian whiskey, distilled under supervision of the government of the Dominion of Canada. Product of Canada. And then it's bottled at Buffalo Trace in Frankfort, Kentucky, Buffalo Trace Distillery. So they want to emphasize Canada, Canada, Canada. Say it like 6 times on the bottle. Okay, we get it. Been on the market over 80 years. In this brown bottle. Now, it's better to have the brown bottle. Brown protects, whiskey can be, from what I've read, impacted by the light. Not like beer so fast like beer, but brown is better. Just like with beer. Keeps the light out. Now, you want light. Now, you want vitamin D, sunlight on you, because it helps ward off viruses, you know, like being cooped up in your house and all in the dark, or in a hospital with no light, you're going to get vitamin D deficiency. So you don't want that. You be out riding your bike, walking, be healthy in the sun, better chance of not getting a virus. And if you do, it may not be serious, you see. So, but anyway, with whiskey, you want it in the dark. Whiskey doesn't really catch. Whiskey is not a person. All right. You say no. Now, James Foxe, introduced by Seagram's in 1975. Seagram's introduced James Foxe. It was supposed to be some new modern whiskey with this modern mid-70s label, but didn't catch on. So 14 years later, they sold the brand with many others, along with many others. to Sazerac Company. Say, you want it, you can have it. Sazerac say, okay. Now, and they just kept buying. 2018, Sazerac bought Seagram's VO, the Canadian whiskey, which I'm out of. The Seagram's VO Gold, which I still have some left. The Seagram's 83. So that's the story on James Foxe. Will you see it at a store near you? I doubt it. I've seen it at Broadway Liquor, and I saw the little 375 bottle, 375 milliliter half-size bottle, plastic, at a Discount Depot last year. This year, 2020. And I said, let me give it to my friend David. I already have a bottle. The liter. This is a liter bottle. 1 liter bottle. It was $8.99. 1 liter, $8.99. Well, the Royal Canadian, this is a 750 milliliter. And notice it's the same bottle design as Canadian, is Rich and Rare. Notice that? Same bottle design as Rich and Rare. It's tapered. It's got broad shoulders, but it gets narrower at the bottom. But that's brown, and the Rich and Rare is clear. Another thing, $8.99 for the bottle at Discount Depot. $8.99. James Foxe, $8.99 liter. Okay. Well, those plastic bottles they had, the 375s, were $1.99. Now that's $3.98 for a full-size bottle. There is no way you're going to find whiskey in the 50 USA, that's United Soviet America. You know that. You know what I'm talking about. The United Soviet America, USA. Any of those Soviet socialist republics, anywhere, are you going to find whiskey for $3.98? Not in Louisiana SSR, not in California SSR, or New York SSR. Any of those places you're going to find whiskey for $3.98. Even in Louisiana, that's an unheard of price. But I saw it. I said, ooh, $1.99. I bought the 100 Pipers. Also another former Seagram's product, still called Seagram's 100 Pipers outside the U.S. And I bought the James Foxe, former Seagram's products. Well, you say, well, it's still Seagram's. It's called Seagram's 100 Pipers. But Seagram's went out of business 20 years ago, exactly 20 years ago, the year 2000, 2000. The name is around like Seagram's Ginger Ale, but the company is gone, don't exist. But anyway, I said, nah. Good morning, everyone, says SK Reviewer. Good morning to you. So, appearance. So remember, they're both of these, like it says on the bottle for Royal Canadian, distilled, blended, and aged, whatever, produced under the supervision of the government of the Dominion of Canada. Well, this one's a lot darker. Look at the Royal Canadian. It's a lot darker. It's amber. And the James Foxe is gold. Isn't that the James Foxe? Yeah. Gold, amber. No age statement. How old are they? I don't know. At least 3 years. In Canada, the stuff has to be aged at least 3 years. Could they have food coloring added, like caramel color, to make them darker? Yeah, almost invariably. Almost invariably. Because in a barrel for 3 years, you say, well, they take on color. Yeah, if it was a new barrel, new charred oak barrel, but these are used barrels. Some of them be 80 years old. They said that on the tour. Yeah, some of these barrels will be decades old. And they're not going to impart much color, if any, to the liquor. And nobody's going to buy clear whiskey. You know what I'm saying? They got that Pabst Blue Ribbon clear whiskey. I mean, I guess people might buy it. I wouldn't buy it because I'm sure it's sky high. You can buy clear whiskey, but You say that's not much different from vodka. It isn't really in principle, except vodka is just distilled again and again and again, you know, like 6 times distilled, whatever, and then charcoal filtered. So it's a little, but it's the same. Less of potato vodka, you know, that would come from potato, but vodka usually in America comes from grains like corn. Okay. Canada, not a republic. I was reading some book somewhere and it was like, it was a travel guide, you know, like AAA travel guide, but it wasn't AAA. It was something like that. And it was saying Canada is a republic that was established, blah, blah, blah. I said a republic. I said, who wrote this? A republic is a country with a president or a governor. Some of them have governors, but I mean, usually it's a president. Canada is a dominion or a realm. They have a queen, Queen Elizabeth, right? You say, well, they got us locked down and they got them locked down. Right. So does it really matter? All right. People think it does, but as long as you think it matters, then I'm going to let you think it matters. See? I'll find that on Facebook. It's so comical. If it's a left-wing tyranny, some people are like gung-ho for it. They'll be like, that's a people's government. But if it's a right-wing tyranny, then they really got a problem with it. Real take issue with it. Or vice versa, you know, flipped around, doesn't matter either way. And I'm always telling them, would you rather be kicked to death by left-wing thugs, or would you rather be kicked to death by right-wing thugs? Sometimes I got to think about it. Because some people are, you are so dumb. Some people will say, but it's the motive that matters. It was righteous kicking. I say, right. Right. I'm going to let you think that. Yeah, no, I'm a weirdo. I don't think people should be kicked to death for any motivation, you know, any ideology, but you get these finicky people on the internet like me, and I'm not bragging on me. There's a lot of people like that, more than you think. Little factions underground. Yeah, I catch heat for being anti-war. Like literally, people will be angry. Aroma here. Wouldn't say that the aroma's profoundly different. This one seems a little stronger. Let's see, like corn, grain, like think. Grain, meaning maize, meaning yellow corn. Rye, giving it a spiciness. Rye, grain, like rye bread. Oh, and other things like could be some sherry wine, rum, bourbon, brandy, could be up to 10% flavorings. Is that evil, bad, corrupting, or anything like that? No, it's just what they do. It's all distilled, so, but, and it's legally a whiskey. Of course, it's Canadian whiskey. I mean, this is like, you know, been around since before Canada was around as a country, so it's nothing new. You see, this one in my left hand, could be to your right, has more of a honeycomb cereal, honeycomb, like the Canadian Club has. If you ever smell Canadian Club and drink it, it has like that honeycomb cereal taste. That's age 5 years. Used to be 6, 5. Like I said, these have no age statement. See, this one has more of a syrup aroma. You say syrup. Right. Syrup, like Oh, corn syrup. You can buy that at the store, you know, like K-Row, but K-Row has vanilla flavor added. So you got to watch that because remember, K-Row has vanilla flavor. Vanilla, some. But this is very corn syrupy, like just, it's sort of like the country kitchen syrup, pancake syrup, minus the maple. Because you know that kind of stuff is blended syrup, so it might be like 2 to 5% maple syrup, and then the vast majority is the corn syrup, and because maple syrup tends to be expensive, and but oh yeah, could you take corn syrup and make whiskey out of it? Well, I don't know. I suppose you could. Couldn't you distill it? You make beer with it, not just totally from it. I don't. They usually have barley, of course. A lot of barley. Corn is the fermentable, the sugar. All right. So, is the aroma very similar? Yes. Is it identical? No. One is a little stronger, a deeper aroma, which is making me think it's the Royal Canadian. Because what was darker? The Royal Canadian. We can still go to the liquor stores here. They aren't closed in Canada. Yeah, same here. It's a vital industry in Louisiana. In all the other states, they don't want to have an uprising, you see. They kind of have been having uprisings here in Louisiana already. There was a huge one on St. Patrick's Day weekend. Thousands of people gathered in one spot for St. Patrick's party. Like thousands, not like a few hundred. Like the whole block was full of people, like crammed together. And the cops were like, "Go away, you're not social distancing. We're busting this up." And then this past Sunday, when I was doing the crisis tourism, keeping my distance, which was easy to do since there was nobody around, really. I wasn't really worried about that. But at the lakefront in New Orleans, at Lake Pontchartrain, there was thousands of people out there barbecuing, throwing frisbee, walking, bike riding. And the newspaper said they were acting like it was a regular day at the beach, at the lakefront. Well, that's what they were. That's how they were regarding it. But if they banned liquor, they wouldn't be these peaceful, passive aggressive, so to speak, uprisings. It would be much more unpleasant. So they're trying, and then you got President Trump's trying to shut it all down. I mean, shut down the shutdown. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about this has to stop. He was making that speech last night. We're going to shut down the shutdown soon because he's saying that the cure is worse than the sickness, which is what I was saying all along. But I think he reads a lot of the same right-wing websites that I read because he'll like say things that he obviously read it. Like, you know what I'm saying? He'll say things that I read in an article, and I'm like, I'll say he read that too. Taste. Oh man, these things taste like candy corn. And I don't mean in a bad way, like these American blended whiskeys, they'll taste like that in a nasty sort of way. The Canadians would be much sweeter. It's like nicer, like this one tastes like the candy corn, pancake syrup. Seriously, a whiskey that tastes like pancake syrup. I'm not joking. Like an Aunt Jemima type thing. So if you're into sweet stuff, this might work. And then you really don't need to make a mixed drink with it because it's sort of like pre-mixed in a way. It's strange. You say, how would it compare to Jack Daniels? Well, it wouldn't compare really. It wouldn't taste too much like that. That's how divergent they are. It's really different. There's a little rye spice underneath. There's an under flavor of like a black pepper thing, which is the rye. It's an interesting product, and I think that's the James Fox. But let's taste over here. I don't want to be, I don't want to jump the gun, so to speak. Yeah. Wood. You like to. It's wood. I mean, wood with a little rye spice, toothpick wood. No char. That's it. I got it. No need. Close my eyes and then move. That's the Royal Canadian. That's the James Fox. Now, which one tastes better? Well, that would be really a question of what do you prefer to taste. It's not a quality control issue. And I've talked about that in beer before, and people get angry. I don't know why you would get. First, I don't know why you would get angry about beer. Secondly, I know what I'm talking about with this because things, they're different, but they're not one better than the other in many cases. You've got two beers, they're different. And people will say, which one's better? So, well, depends what you like to drink. And it's the same thing here. Now, I prefer I would rather drink this sweet one, the candy one. Because I like honeycomb cereal, you know what I mean? So this one has that feeling. Somebody was telling me his grandmother liked to drink milk with whiskey in it. I say, milk? I say, well, I guess if you enjoy it, that doesn't sound like something I would want to drink, but this might work because I got that. You might think you're drinking boozy honeycomb breakfast. Miss your old beer reviews. What do you mean? You were doing whiskey taste at 5:53 a.m. night, says Stefan. Tim. Yeah, I wake up early, Stefan. What do you mean my old beer review? I just posted a beer review yesterday. Hop Slam. The beer review I did past week wasn't any different than the original ones from 2010. It's just me sitting there talking about a beer. Now I started doing duo reviews, but then I started doing duo reviews in 2011, the year after I started. I started late in 2010. My daughter would do beer reviews with me and other people. So doing duo reviews, nothing new. Live hangouts, nothing new. Sitting somewhere in my house or in the backyard or front yard talking about a beer and telling you what I think, that's nothing new. So I don't know what could have changed. I got older, but you will too. Everybody that's watching is going to get older. So, I guess if you're used to Seagram's VO, which is one of the top selling whiskeys in America, or you're used to Crown Royal, which is the top selling whiskey in Louisiana, but around the USA, it's in the top 3 or 4. This would be more to your liking. So the Royal Canadian is more like a Crown Royal, Seagram's VO type standard Canadian thing. You know what I mean? The wood, the barrel, the straight whiskey flavor. I don't mean straight whiskey in the legal sense. I just mean like a conventional, yeah, that's what I mean. A conventional flavor. Like when people think of whiskey, this is going to taste like that. If somebody said to you, what does Canadian whiskey taste like? You could give them the Royal Canadian and they would either like it or not, but that would give them a good prototype, a good idea. Except that I'm really, in some ways, not correct, because if someone said, if you gave someone Canadian Club, which is one of the top selling Canadian whiskeys, and you said, okay, here's a good example of Canadian whiskey, it does have that honeycomb cereal flavor. So it's hard. But I guess the Royal Canadian would be more predominant of a flavor because of Crown Royal, Crown Royal. Blind taste test again, please. Oh, yeah, I'm doing one now. Oh, the beer. Yeah. Beer blind taste tests are harder to do because you got to drink both. Beer doesn't hold up. You know what I'm saying? Like the whiskey, I can cap it, come back a year later. But the beer, you got to drink them. Secondly, I've done so many beer blind taste tests that I've kind of run out of ones to challenge, the taste challenge. I mean, I'm thinking of malt liquor. I've done so many of those. Ice beers, I've done so many. Light beers, so many. Regular beers, so many. It just doesn't seem like it because we're talking about nearly 10 years. So stretched out over 10 years, it is a lot. The blue collar beers, you know. Oh, yeah. I do those. I have Budweiser Nitro, which is like a quasi blue collar beer. It's like a fancy blue collar beer, you know, the Budweiser Nitro Reserve Gold. But I've run out of regular beers to get. You know what I'm saying? Like people say, well, try Olympia. I've done Olympia, but I can't get it here. Lone Star, I can't get it here. Pearl, I can't get it. You know, I can't get Iron City. I can't get Stroh's. I can't get Narragansett. I can get what I can get. Now, if I happen to be on a road trip, yeah, I'll pick up this and that. In fact, I look for the regular beers on road trips. Craft beer I can get all day long. Craft beer, I'll never run out of craft beer around here. Specialty beer, I can do one a day. That's $365 a year. I'll never run out. So when I go on a road trip, I'm not really looking to get craft beer because I'm flooded with it here. And I like it, you know, generally. So when I go on a road trip, I'm looking for the regular beers in that state that I can't get. And that's what people want to see. Generally, a lot of them, they want to see a review of Stroh's or Coors Extra Gold Lager, right? There's an example. Mickey's Ice Brewed Ale, which is so difficult to find. And I got in an argument with Eric Fraunfelter because he was saying, and I knew what he was going to say as soon as he started talking. I said, okay, I'll let you finish the sentence. I know what you're going to say. Talking about Keystone Ice. It says ale on the can. And he said, well, Miller Coors website says it's a ice brewed lager. I said, yeah, because you notice that on their website in the nutritional section, they don't have a category. There's no category for ice brewed ale. So they simply put it under that. And anyway, no one cares except us, beer people. But using that line of thinking, then you could say that Old English 800 is a cream ale. You say cream ale, it's a malt liquor, dum-dum. I know that. But look at the Great American Beer Festival. And Magnum, too, Magnum malt liquor. If you look back in the early 90s, those beers won gold medals in the cream ale category. Cream ale. Well, they're not ales. They're not cream ales. Right. But in the early 90s, World Beer Cup and Great American Beer Festival, one or the other or both, was lumping them all together in a category called American Cream Ale. There was no competition for malt liquor. So, because that doesn't even mean anything anyway. That word is a meaningless term. And I've tried to talk to people about that. Well, you know, Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor is not a cream ale, all right? But Genesee Cream Ale is. Eric kind of backed off when I went into that because first, I knew what I was talking about, and secondly, it doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, ultimately, that does not matter. Whether Mickey's Ice Brewed Ale is an ale or a lager. But I know what the law is. This I know. And like William Kepley says, the law is what gets you the money. He bought a Ford car. It kept breaking. He kept having to get warranty repairs. Under the lemon law of North Carolina, he qualified to get a brand new car from Ford. They didn't admit that the one he bought was defective, but it was obviously defective. It kept breaking. He got a brand new car. They say, turn in the one you bought. He got a brand new car. I mean, a comparable model. It's the same model. You know, he didn't get a Lincoln. But what was it based on? Just his opinion? Well, I think it's bad. I think this is violating the lemon law. No. Facts. He had the facts to back him up. He got the car, no charge. The lawyer got his fee, no charge to William. So that's what I'm saying. Me and Eric can argue all day long. No big deal. But the law, you know, the law, United States Tax and Trade Bureau law says every alcoholic beverage, beer, wine, liquor, don't matter, must have a disclosure on the label. Just look it up yourself, or I can give you the link. It shows how they even have a tutorial. If you produce liquor, they got little lessons, like you can make your own, like there's a little online lesson, like literally, where you can practice making your label. I'm not joking. Like, let's practice making a label. And it's like you can design it, but it'll show you what has to be in the template. And one of the things that must be in the template is what the product actually is. Not marketing terms like craft beer. That's a marketing term. It's not a legal term. It has to say what is the product. There has to be what they call a disclosure. The Tax and Trade Bureau calls it a disclosure on that label. Does it have to be prominent? No, but it has to be there. So let's look at this label, Royal Canadian. Where's the disclosure? Right here. It says blended Canadian whiskey. Clear is night and day, is black and green. I'm sorry, black and white. I don't know why I said green. Blended Canadian whiskey. That's what it is. It's a blended Canadian whiskey. They say on their website, or you can call it Canadian whiskey, a blend, comma, a blend. There's two ways you can describe it. Blended Canadian whiskey or Canadian whiskey, a blend. You say, well, what if it's not blended? Okay, well, then you've got to call it something else. Canadian straight whiskey, which is rare, but it exists. You say, well, what if it's bourbon? Can't call it bourbon. It has to be from the United States. Bourbon must be from the United States, just like cognac has to be from France. You could call it Canadian bourbon style whiskey. Hey, I know you're not a light beer drinker, but if someone walks up to you at a barbecue with 3 beers in their hand, Busch Light, Keystone Light, or Miller High Life Light, which one are you taking? I'm going to take the Miller High Life Light. I think the Miller High Life Light has the best flavor of those 3. And we get 12 packs of cans and bottles here of Miller High Life Light and quart cans. Yeah, I'm going to go with Miller High. Do they care if I'm doing a beer review? Apparently not. I'm sorry, a whiskey taste challenge. I guarantee you this is James Fox. And when I turn the glass up, it's going to say JF. Well, you can't see with all that glare. Yeah, JF. James Fox. A real person back in the 1700s, apparently. I like it. I mean, I really recommend it. I think it's a great deal. $8.99 for a liter. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm down for that. It's good. It's not great, like world class or anything. If it had been world class, I wouldn't have given it an A-, right? I'd have given it a 100+. Royal Canadian. Well, I just think that you don't want to say harsh wood, that the wood might bother you a little bit. It kind of bothers me a little bit. So yeah, am I a sucker for flavoring? Am I a fool for, yeah. Okay. I'm a fool for the flavoring. No big deal. No big deal. So they put flavoring in it. Brandy, rum, sherry wine, maybe plum wine, No big deal. No big deal. So I like it. Okay. And you can say, with your stinking rotten flavoring, be a real man and drink whiskey, which is the grain and the wood. Okay, so if I'm super macho right now, then I'm going to drink the Royal Canadian. If I'm Mr. Wimpy, I'll drink the James Foxe. Tie. It's a tie. It's a tie. It's a personal preference issue. It's not a quality control issue. I think Sazerac Canada makes some really good stuff. Have I tried their super premier stuff like Pendleton or Caribou? Well, no, I haven't. We're talking about $25, $30, $35, $40, $45 a bottle. I would be keen to try it, and I think one day I will try it. But there's so many Sazerac Canadian whiskeys that are $9, $10 or less a bottle that I just keep trying them. You know, they're there, they exist, so I'll buy them. Here, there, everywhere, like the Beatles. All right, so it's a tie, but yes, you can tell them apart. Yes, yes, yes. Now, is it going to be as easy with the Canadian Crest and the Albertsons and the Rich and Rare and the Canadian Limited? No, it won't be, because those are flavored and they're going to taste very similar to the Canadian Club and the James Foxe, which is that what I call, and you heard me earlier in the video say, the Honeycomb Cereal, which if you read the ingredients on a Honeycomb Cereal box, it'll make even more sense. All right, thanks for watching this video production. Be back in 2 days with Albertsons versus James Foxe. And I could get that. That could be one where I get it wrong because they're so very similar. Also very similar